Yo, 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 yo. What is
Wow,
going
I
on? I
heard that
almost
echo.
spilled. Oh. I almost spilled my water 1 second into this podcast. Can you believe that? Every single time there's some shit going on that I'm not prepared for.
Sorry, man. The problem is you're drinking flat water right now. Any other beverage that is actually worth money, you'd probably hold on to a little stronger.
Joke's on you, Ty. My finger slipped and I almost spilled my San Pelli. Um, yeah, that's right.
Be
That
a
would have
real
been
L.
tragic.
Can you imagine you're just like a middle-aged Italian man, you work in the Pelly factory, like south of Lake Como, and you package up this water, you ship it all the way across the world just for Eric to spill it on his white oak floors.
Yeah, I spilled it on my Italian marble countertop. There's kind of like a
Mm-hmm.
sweet poetry to that.
Back to
Still
which you
tragic
came.
though. Full circle moment. Oh,
That is
man.
beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm sipping on an iced latte. I made it myself. 4 ice cubes, a splash of oat milk, and a
Hmm.
pull of espresso from my house espresso machine. Feeling pretty good. Feeling zooted, ready to pood podcast. We got a lot to talk about today, Eric. A lot to talk about.
Starting with your home espresso machine. Is that what you call your Nespresso?
No, mine's a legit espresso machine. Like I put the thing in the thing, and it steams the milk, and it makes the like
Oh.
sound when the espresso comes out. It's legit. It's very cheap. I was given it for free, but it still pulls a half
Mm.
decent shot if you put good enough beans in it.
Wow, that's very nice. Um, I have two methods of making coffee at home. One is my extremely over the top Alessi
Mm-hmm.
stovetop machine, which
Mm-hmm.
looks like Ragon's like pulled it out of his ass.
Totally. It's the only like kitchen utility that's from the Dark Shadow collection.
No, it's the full mainline Rick, but your espresso machine is probably from Dark Shadow, if I'm being honest.
Fair enough. Um, quick sidetrack here. I think it's kind of poor taste of Tommy Cash to roll up to the Rick Owens show, like dressed like a mime. Like he took all the press away from the actual artistry of that runway line. What are your thoughts on that?
Hmm.
Do you agree? Do you think he was like, I don't know, overstepping?
I don't know who Tommy Cash is.
He's the mime in the yellow Crocs.
He's just a mime. Is he a
I
mime
don't,
in his full time position or just
dude.
during the Rick show?
Okay, I don't really know what like his Instagram bio says artist, but I think he's kind
Okay.
of a like big company plant to get into the fashion world because he'll wear something
Mm,
outrageous.
interesting. So is it like satirizing the whole Fashion Week calendar, where he's like, "This is all a bunch of yuppies, and I'm going to infiltrate by playing their own game and beating them at it."
Yeah, exactly. He's the only one truly
Interesting.
exposing that fashion might be a scam.
That ain't no secret, brother. um, I did see Pharrell posted his like ID badge, and like the scammer in me was like, it's like the spin-off of Marley and Me. The scammer in me saw that and was like, oh, this is extremely easy to just Photoshop like a orange stripe, the words Louis Vuitton, and then my name, and then like a
Mm.
little square image of my face. Print that on like a plastic card, and then you have lifetime access to every Louis show.
Wow, not only the show, but you could probably walk into the back room at any boutique
Hmm.
and just help yourself to the merchandise.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm here to collect my store discount, and
Mm-hmm. Flash it.
then
I know, like,
just you just write down any number. I guess it'll have to match your name. I don't know, Ty.
I
There's
don't
some
really. It depends on
logistics
their
we got to figure out.
it depends on their discount system, right? Like I learned from my hotel front desk employee at the Ace last week that all um, employees of the Ace Hotel get a pretty hefty discount at Le Labo. So if you just walk into Le Labo and say you work for the Ace, they'll just give you the discount. There's no company card. There's no other. There's a tip for
Hmm.
the listeners. Another tip to save money: if you use code Breadhead, you can get 15% off your entire purchase at Laird Superfoods. Get some coffee creamer. Get some, I don't know really what else they sell. Some granola bars, protein shake powder.
You can replicate Thai's coffee with a splash of creamer. Just go ahead and cop that from Laird, and you know what? You might even have a better coffee than Thai's because Thai, unless yours has adaptogenic mushrooms in it, I think it's safe to say that the listeners will create something more healthy than you.
There is nothing adaptogenic about my beverage, so you are absolutely correct, Eric.
If anything, your stomach has to adapt to that coffee because it could end in disaster.
Yeah, it's like it's infiltrating a foreign landscape.
Hmm.
Speaking of foreign landscapes, I think we need to talk about the submarine sandwich in the room, Eric.
Oh shit! Oh,
As
the
you
lost
know, and
sub.
the lost sub, yeah. Sandwich artists nationwide are mourning the loss of the big sub.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Tough times, Ty. They found it, right? They found the remnants of it.
I did hear about that. Much like when a portion of your meatball slip onto the floor off of your foot-long sandwich, they found
God damn
some
it!
wreckage on the
Oh
ocean
my.
floor.
I was literally just thinking that too. Like, it's like a footlong has been in the vicinity when you can see a black olive. You know what I mean? It's like they
Hmm.
found remnants of a sandwich somewhere, of a sub per se, and then the rest of it somewhere.
Yeah, dude. You walk into a room, you see that black olive, you're like, it's kind of like a professional tracker tracing an elk, and you like find prints. It's like, oh, there
Hmm.
was a BMT here, shh, and you
Hmm.
like listen and
Hmm.
smell. You smell. Look in the
Hmm.
breeze. I'm downwind of a steak and cheese.
Yeah. I'm downwind from an imploded sub because my sandwich artist sat on it.
Hmm. Oh shit.
Ah,
It
shit.
is unfortunate that these five souls unsubscribed from the earth
Oh
with
no.
with this journey. Sub lovers nationwide are mourning.
Hmm. Hmm. I wonder if it's the first time that people have died by sub. I mean, I'm sure it's Subway. I'm sure it's Subway. There is probably a hidden death count somewhere at HQ. It's like, fuck, another one, guys. The tuna took another life today.
Dude, if you even think about the term sub as generally as you can, you got submarine sandwiches, you got submarines, and you got subway cars, and all three of those are just death traps, quite literally in some cases.
Hmm. Yep. And then you got
I
the
don't know.
submissive little twinks that eat at Subway.
Yeah. So each one of those things, I'd be curious what the body count for each definition of sub
Wow.
is and who's winning. Because submarine just picked up 5 this week, which you'd think would be a big blip. But I think if you compare the bar charts of different submarines, the submarine sandwich probably has the highest kill count.
That's right. And if anyone thinks we're being insensitive by joking around about this submarine, just know that Subway has taken more lives
Hmm.
than anything, and we've been joking about that for 2.5 years now.
And I think it's just important to redirect our energy to the real killer, the serial killer of sorts. Like there's
Hmm.
choking, there's just generally bad diet leading to heart disease. There's slipping in
Hmm.
a puddle of sweet onion sauce and cracking your
Hmm.
skull on the green and
Hmm.
red brick of Subway.
That's right. Those 5 billionaires signed a waiver before going to the depths of the ocean. But when was the last time you signed a waiver to eat at Subway, Ty? You're
They have
putting your life
never
at
made
risk.
never made me sign a waiver, and I don't know why.
You're putting your life at risk every single time you take a bite of that sweet, sweet footlong. And
Hmm.
I mean, thank God, you're still here to tell the tale.
I know. I think in both the cases of the marine and the Subway sandwich, neither of them wants to talk about a waiver or talk about health and safety precautions because that addresses the elephant in the room, which is that maybe this shit is not that safe.
That's right. Oh, fuck. It would be, as they call, spilling the beans
Hmm.
or spilling the
Yeah,
black olives, I guess.
spilling something, spilling some marinara.
Hmm.
So,
Ah,
Eric,
Ty.
I got a few questions about you because I want to try to empathize with these deep sea divers. Let's say that it didn't implode right away, and they had 20 hours of oxygen down there. You're trapped. You're trapped in the booth. This is the eternal podcasting booth, if you will.
Hmm.
How do you kill the time? What do you do with those last 20 hours?
Interesting. That's a long time to be confined to a small little cylinder with four other strangers.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you can probably, I don't know, create some conversation around all being extremely rich.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious, like, what everyone else in the room has like wasted their money on, and like how they got rich.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably be an entertaining way to spend 20 hours. What
Totally.
about
Their
you?
biggest W and biggest L at the mall.
Exactly.
Yeah, you could do some cool, fun, verbal gameplay like that. It would be a good opportunity for all five to rally together and record a pilot episode of their own cast. Um,
Wow.
Honestly, though, like from an outsider looking in and reading the news, the best thing they probably could have done is just banged on the side of the sub the entire time, because that's the only thing anyone was looking for was the sound of banging. People love
Hmm.
hearing people bang.
Yeah. Yeah, they would have been banging for hours and hours on
Mhm.
end, but to no one's success. Yeah, I guess what we know now, Ty, is that as soon as the sub hit the bottom of the ocean's stomach, it just blew up. It
Mhm.
just got squished into a tiny little 6 inch, and that's it. The instant digestion, if you will.
It's crazy. You know when you like those videos where you look into the pupil and you see like starry night sky, and or you look at a cell and like the universe is all connected, right? And if you
Hmm.
imagine a submarine hitting the bottom of the ocean and exploding, and a foot long veggie patty coming down into my stomach, landing at the bottom and also exploding, and then it kind of makes sense why I always have stomach pain after consuming Subway.
Hmm.
It's just a part of nature and you
Hmm.
can't fight it. You have to embrace it. These things happen.
Hmm.
It If God has his way, I will survive my next foot long.
Yeah, all those billionaires chose to make it God's way that time.
Mhm. Yeah, this
Damn,
was this was God's plan.
this was God's plan all along.
Mhm.
Oh, really weird. Very weird news. It's so
Very weird.
fascinating though how the entire world stopped. It's like we needed a news story to just rally behind as a society. Like
Mhm.
COVID's long gone. Trump is nowhere to be seen. Tucker has been fired.
Mhm.
All we have now is a submarine.
You know what's crazy is I've actually observed with lack of global political conversation, Netflix's stock price goes up. If there's global political conversation, stock price
Hmm.
goes down. If there's nothing to talk about, price goes up. And I think it's because people are like, I guess I'll watch Love is Blind with everybody else because there's
Hmm.
nothing else going on. We
Well, you
all
know
want
why,
to feel
Ty?
a part of the global village.
You know why? I think Netflix should pause all operations when like Trump is like running for president because it's more entertaining than any Netflix show because the
Mhm.
stakes are higher. It's like I want to know how this ends because it affects my life.
Mhm, mhm.
It's like 4D viewing experience, Ty. It's my 4D signature fit.
Absolutely, dude. And that would be really smart business of them. Like, okay, something big's happening nationwide. Let's go back in the lab and just like work on our cutscenes a little bit more until this blows over. Because why are we as a media platform trying to compete with real world events? That's crazy.
Hmm.
They're like, no, don't pay attention to real world events. Come into
Hmm.
our fictional reality.
Hmm. I
Come
mean, I
watch.
think the worst side effect of all of this, Ty, is now my YouTube algorithm is like suggesting me like fun submarine videos from like two
Mm-hmm.
years ago, and I'm like, this was a temporary fling. Like once this
Mm-hmm.
is done, I'm going back to watching the Grand Tour, or the Tour de France.
Mm-hmm.
All the shows that I'm currently into, including the Kardashians, which I'm fully caught up on right now, and the Idol, of course.
Of course. Yeah, like, I don't need to hear about what James Cameron did 5 years ago. I don't wanna know the entire lore or history of all submarines.
There was some good lore though. I will indulge in some of that because there was like something around like the son of one of the rich guys who was like partying while his like dad was like missing.
Oh yeah,
Or like
wasn't
he
he
went to
like
a concert.
DMing OnlyFans models and going to Blink 182?
Yeah, he was living his best single life, I guess, because he was tweeting "Ladies, I'm single" and attending the concert shortly after. So,
Hmm.
I mean, his mind is he's pussy whipped. Ty. He's not thinking about his daddy.
Damn, you're right.
That's crazy.
I'm okay with that, Laura. It's good to have public male role models. So,
It's a healthy way to signal your consent. You know what I
hmm
mean? It's like, ladies, I am single. I am consenting to a relationship right now. We need to
hmm.
applaud this consensual king.
Yeah, for sure. He's signing a public terms of service.
Speaking of signing a public terms of service, Ty, we talked a little bit about. Did we talk about Zion Williamson, the basketball player who impregnated a OnlyFans model?
Oh yeah, and
Did we talk
then
about
wasn't
this?
he on? He was on blast on Twitter for this, I think.
Yeah, I don't remember if I had two basketball topics
Yeah, we didn't get to
like
this
last
one, so you,
episode. I
you
don't
can
think we got to
resurface
this
it
one.
now. Yeah.
Okay, Ty. For those who don't know, Zion Williamson, like failed NBA prospect, like
Hmm.
so much hype coming into the league, came to the league, didn't do shit all, like just useless.
Still
But he
secured a
is
bag though.
still secured the bag, and that is a W for the short term at least. But
Hmm.
um, he like recently announced he got his like girlfriend pregnant on like Instagram or something, and she's like
Mm.
obviously like some OnlyFans chick. And then like while everyone's like happy for him, you see this other actual porn star on Twitter put him on blast for being like, "Yo, literally a day ago you said you were gonna fly me out and pay for my entire lifestyle so I can be
Ooh.
your girlfriend in whatever New Orleans. That's where he's playing ball, right?" And then she's like, "What gives?" And she showed photos, not screenshots, but photos of a Snapchat conversation, which that's how you know it's legit.
Yeah, yeah.
Of him saying like, "It's like, yeah, don't worry, I'll like pay you like 75K a month or something to like come live with me." And I'm like,
Yo,
damn, this
that's
guy's down
crazy.
bad, yeah. And
So he's
then
trying to order the double tuna.
he's ordering the double meat, the double roast beef.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like a crazy saga for this kid because he's just addicted to girls with talent, I guess.
Hmm. Well, he's a NBA player. He's got the inches to pull it off,
He
in
has
more
the
ways than one.
damn it. Yeah, he probably does. And um, speaking of like signing up public terms of service, this porn star that's been calling him out is so like thirsty for attention that she got
Mhm.
his name tattooed on her face. I saw this today.
No. No.
Yeah.
So she's not really upset about this. She's just craves the limelight, the warm
She's
light
probably
of the
hurt.
toaster oven of Earth.
Yeah, she's probably hurt. She ordered a spicy footlong and she ordered the spicy tuna melt and couldn't handle
Mhm.
it, I guess.
Damn.
Yeah.
So now she's chugging some carbonated beverage to try to make it better, but it's only making it worse.
To be fair, Ty, I don't know if I will fully fall for this video that she posted because they like did the outline of the tattoo and then like the guy like goes to do the tattoo and then it cuts. So there's a chance
Mhm.
that it's all just staged like nonsense. But who knows?
Yo, nothing is real anymore. Did the submarine even go missing? Did she get the Xeon tattoo? You can't believe anything you see or hear unless it's from the mouths of the co-hosts of Think Fresh podcast.
hmm Yeah, Ty this whole time thought I was talking about a car when I said Scion.
Damn, you fell in love with your whip? That's crazy.
Car dudes be like, I'm getting my I'm getting my car tatted on my face.
Hell yeah. Yo, you would. There's
Oh,
like some F-350 type dudes out there that are actively booking that appointment.
hmm Ty, you had a
Mhm.
fun week. You said you went to a comedy show. How was that?
Yo, it was pretty funny. I got put on blast by the comedian. You know what he said to me, Eric? You know what that guy said to me? He pointed at me and said, "You are the whitest person I've ever scene. He said, and then
Holy
he like,
shit.
and then he addressed the crowd and he said, "Look at this guy." And then he said,
Wow.
"Bro," he said, "Bro, you look like you own a timeshare."
Oh, okay. I mean, that's kind of
Hmm.
a backhanded compliment.
That's what I thought because I thought like, oh, the all my investment in old money fits is starting to pay off.
Yeah, dude, your quiet luxury efforts have gone noticed, which is
Hmm.
the opposite of quiet luxury, I
I
guess.
know.
But
I've been exposed.
yeah, that's fascinating. So were you sitting front row? Just paint the picture for me.
Yeah, for sure. Pretty small venue. I'm in the upper stairs of an old warehouse on the downtown east side,
Hmm.
and there's about 40 chairs and a small stage. I'm in the middle of it. I'm at like the fifth bite of the foot long. So I'm avoiding. I've stayed like positioned myself to avoid any type of heckling from the comedians. Yet they were able
Hmm.
to seek me out. I just glow like that in a room.
Hmm.
Um,
Interesting. Whenever I seat myself in a comedy show, I always try to go to the front row because I want to be roasted because I want to like fire back at the comedian. You know what I mean?
mm,
I want to
you're
be
looking for a
like,
fight.
yeah, if they call me white, I'll be like, well, haha, you're like Mexican.
Nice.
You know what I mean? There's always a
Totally.
way to clap back, Ty. And
That's
what
true.
did you say in response? Did you
Well,
just stand up and do a twirl, or what did you do?
yeah, I took a bow. I don't like to clap back, Eric, because I feel like it takes away from their inertia. I want them to like triple down on it because you know what I crave, Eric? I crave feedback. I like the feedback. It helps me grow as a person and improve my own
Hmm.
personal brand. So I took that away. I thought, okay, I these were pretty small logos on my designer clothing. They're gonna have to go smaller. That was my takeaway.
That is a good feedback loop. And if we don't know by now, based on you having this podcast, you're a patron of the arts and you respect artistry and you want to let them
Mhm.
cook. You know what I mean? You're not going to get in the way of that.
Totally. If my sandwich artist like let's just hypothetically if my sandwich artist this never happened but if they ever wanted
Spoke.
to yeah propose an idea I'd entertain that. I would let them cook.
Of course. Of course. I want to, I've been inspired by you, Ty. I want to go and like strike up a conversation with my artist. I know it sounds crazy, but I want to ask them like, how long have you been working here, dude? Like,
Wow.
do you always work lunch? You know what I mean? I just want
Very
to know like what's going on with this cat.
it's very
Like what's up?
flirtatious questions, Eric. um
That's just straightforward questions. It's all in the eye contact eye.
I was vibing with a gang of friends at the park last weekend, and pretty big group of people. I don't know most of them. One girl comes up and joins the picnic blanket on one side, and she's carrying 6 inches of sandwich. And I'm like, damn, people rolling up to a group hang with Subway, ballsy. Then 15 minutes later, another dude who I hadn't met pulls up from the other side of the blanket, 6 inches of sandwich in hand. And both of them made a comment about how like they don't normally eat Subway, but it was just the right thing to do on the way here. And
It's everyone's guilty pleasure. No one wants to admit that they like it, but we all go back to it and eat it in our
mhm,
PJs at home
it,
at
yeah,
2
it
a.m.
is. It's the toxic X of fast food. Anyways, the one dude, he then goes into this story about how he's like, when I ordered this sandwich today, I just said the artist, make me whatever you think is best. Something you and I have discussed and tried time and time again on this podcast, but it was fun to be look from the outside in on another person's very human experience of doing that. And
Hmm.
apparently what happened was he made this request and the artist said, "Do you like chicken?" And then he said, "I do like chicken." And then the artist made him a crispy chicken sandwich.
Wow,
Mhm.
brilliant.
It was brilliant.
This is something something that we've deliberated at length, Ty. The
Mhm.
artist patron relationship, how much responsibility falls in either group, um, how the artist's background and their context will influence the sandwich they make for you, whether you designed it or not. It's all very
Mhm.
complex.
Yeah, it is. It's more of an act of negotiation than it is an act of pure creation. But I'm learning that's the case with all things. No one wants to really give you what you want in this world. You have to take it.
That's right, Ty. You got to take it.
Before we sign off for this episode, Eric, there's one more topic I want to discuss with you. Have you had a
Hmm.
chance to run back the new Young Thug album?
Yes, I have. I've listened to it a few times over. Um, yeah, I'm enjoying it. What
Hmm.
about you?
I am absolutely enjoying it. I can't believe he got so many people to be featured on it while hanging out in prison. And this is the thing that's blowing my mind about this album, Eric, is one, it's really good. And two, he recorded it from jail. I'm thinking like if he can do this from jail, like what are all the other prisoners doing? Like surely they could be doing something more than like pounding license plates together. This guy's
Hmm.
making art here. Like, what's Jared been up to? Like, is he gonna drop a new sub soon? Like, what's going on here? What are the prisoners up to? I'm so curious. How did he even get in the booth? Do they have a podcasting booth at Rikers? Like, what's going on?
These are good questions, and I have no idea. I don't know if they, you know, if I mean Thug. I have no doubt that he probably runs the show in the prison, especially in Atlanta, if that's where he is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's probably the king of. He's King Slime, right? So
Mm-hmm.
everyone's gonna bend over for him, not literally, but they're going
Emotionally.
to, yeah, emotionally, and maybe they will bring in equipment. Like he can probably source like a mic, maybe some soundproof like insulation for his cell, things
Yeah,
like that.
dude. Like other prisoners are trying to get like some cocaine snuck into the prison, or perhaps a knife like baked into a cake, but Young Thug's trying to get like a lapel mic and a cupcake coming in.
Yeah, he's trying to get Gunna to re-up his Anchor subscription so that
Hmm.
he can hop into the booth once more.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know if that's how he did it. Do you think like fuck, like is he literally in the jail like 24/7, or is he able to leave, go to maybe a second room, because he's like in court also, so he's not just like
Right.
in jail, right? He's like kind of he's mobile, he's moving around, he's
Totally.
potentially he has an hour here and there to drop a verse. Maybe Metro Boomin is executive producing most of the album, and he's just offering some vocals. We don't know,
Hmm.
Ty.
Yeah, I don't really know. All I can tell you though is like whether it's the jail cell or the courtroom, or maybe he's in isolation in the prison. They're
Hmm.
all acoustically ideal for both podcasting and audio recording, just generally.
Hmm.
So there's no reason that he couldn't, as long as he's got a remote setup, start
Hmm.
jamming to some beats.
I mean, it's really just comes down to the echo, in my opinion. But why add the reverb in post when you can just record it in a jail cell?
Natty reverb. That's sick.
Natty reverb. His last album, Ty, was also 2 years ago, so I think there is a chance that he has like work in progress stuff that he was able to just like get someone to finish for him. Because think about it, this album only has 47 minutes worth of music on it,
Mm,
and his last one
and that's a good point. And
had
half the music
one
is
hour
other. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's shorter. And also on this album, half the music is other rappers.
exactly. So there could be some creativity happening in the logistics area of YSL, the label, not the gang.
Hmm.
The gang's doing just fine.
So, dude, I think YSL, the label, this is their equivalent of a GoFundMe. Like all the other
Oh.
rappers are coming together and they're like, let's put a project out, help Thugga. Like, we need to free Jeffrey, and we need to raise some money for bail.
Hmm. Absolutely. Gunna's on the album. Gunna also dropped his
Hmm.
own album
Hmm.
maybe earlier this week, or last Friday, I think. It's amazing how even behind bars, the level of collaboration is greater than that at Subway.
It's true. It's true. It transcends borders and prison bars. But
Hmm.
you have to have friends on the outside, and this is why Jared never dropped a new sandwich or diet or anything. Like,
Yeah, that's right. Good thing he never got into the art of creating sandwiches, because
mhm.
who knows what you would find in those.
That would be a natural progression if he had stayed cozy with the brand. Would be to like Jared's picks as far as footlongs. We didn't
Hmm.
quite get there though. I don't think we should be mimicking Jared's taste in any way.
Hmm.
I do
Absolutely
wonder though,
agree.
like, is he just rotting away there? Is he on a good fitness regime? Is he is he dead? I don't really know what's going on.
Didn't he drop a letter, like he dropped the cipher,
A
um,
manifesto?
a manifesto, like kind of recently, didn't he? Like maybe
Holy
even
shit.
last year.
I don't know. I'll check
I
Jared
vaguely
Fogle.
remember seeing something like this, and I feel like we either forgot to talk about it or just subconsciously like decided not to.
Wow. It does kind of slip our mind sometimes. I am noticing right now that in March of 2023 there was a documentary film called Jared from Subway Catching a Monster, and it premiered in March. So we should probably look that up and report back to the Breadheads on that. I would be curious to learn a little bit more about the Jared lore.
That is a great opportunity for a business trip, Ty. I think we need to schedule some time together to dummy some butt heavies and watch the Jared doc, a last dance of sorts. Wow, that's amazing.
Wow.
This would be a really funny brand activation for Think Fresh.
I think so. We'll do a rare 2 hour take on this rare 2 hour take on Jared.
Hmm. Yeah, we're gonna have to do like, when they film like the Kardashians, they do like a cutaway where they
Hmm.
like interview the person like after every scene. Like we need to do that basically. Like
Hmm. Hmm.
pause the doc and then be like, okay, he just like published some child porn on his Tumblr, you
I
know?
can't believe it. It's crazy. Yeah, dude. It'll be like
Ah.
on a DVD with the director's cut, but it'll be the Think Fresh cut. Or the artist's
Mm,
cut, we'll call it. And we use a bread knife
right down the middle.
right down
Absolutely.
almost the middle.
Well, speaking of the middle tile, we are at the end of this episode.
Hmm.
Be sure to check out those links in the description of this episode to get some nice, fresh discounts on Laird Superfood, Wongo Puzzles, and Zencaster. That's right. You can be a
Hmm.
podcaster just like us and give your unhinged takes on topics like the submarine, Jared, things like that. Things no
Hmm.
one really needs to hear about, but wants to.
Inject yourself into the cultural discourse, just like us. You don't need a Twitter
That's right.
account. You just need a microphone and a Zencaster account.
And
Um,
good news for you guys, there's a microphone in your laptop that you can use.
that's what I'm using. Sounds great.
Same here. Well, kings, queens, thank you for listening, and we will chat to you next week. Ciao.
Ciao.